Fort Wayne Ground, November, 5933 Hotel with Foxtrot, ready to taxi.
5933 Hotel, Fort Wayne Ground, taxi to runway 5, wind 070 at 6, altimeter 3012.
5933 Hotel, roger.
5933 Hotel, contact tower 119.1.
Switching to tower. Fort Wayne Tower, November, 5933 Hotel, runway 5, ready to depart.
5933 Hotel, Fort Wayne Tower, wind 070 at 7, cleared for takeoff. Have a safe flight.
We are off on our journey.
Let's expand beyond our overview of Israel video from last month. This video is titled Some History and Future Events of Israel. As we know, the nation of Israel was created by a sovereign act of God. God granted or bequeathed the land's title to Israel. Many nations have attempted to annihilate the Jewish people. For instance, Jerusalem, the city of peace, has been conquered and reconquered 44 times. In AD 135, the Romans dispersed the Jews all across the Roman Empire with the plan they never come back to the Holy Land. The Bible prophesies the Jewish people will come back and restore the land, Amos 9:14 and 15, and there will be a rebirth, Ezekiel 37:21. Please also refer to Isaiah 11:12 and Jeremiah 31:10. Wake up, world, it has happened. A miracle. On May 15 of 48, the state of Israel was formed. Yes, you can believe the Bible. The regathering is now well underway, and Israel is taking prominence on the world stage. Again, the Bible prophesies that the God of the Bible will make a name for himself through Israel in the last days. The world will no longer be able to ignore him. What is God's plan? God chose the Jewish people to be his instrument of world redemption. It means in spite of their sin, God chose them to be the instrument of his revelation and salvation in the world. Let's go way back in history and note two things. Some 2,500 years before Muhammad was born, Abraham talked with his God who promised him the Holy Land long before any other current world religion was conceived. And second, the Jewish Holy Temple stood on Mount Moriah 1,500 years before Islamic warriors spread across the Middle East, ultimately conquering great swaths of the earth and forcing Islamic conversion on its citizens. What about the Promised Land? Let's dig in. The land is described in scriptures, Genesis 15:18-21 and Numbers 34:1 through 15. Let's look at the map now. This map is an approximation of what God promised to Abraham. So let's take a look at the countries involved here. Saudi Arabia is to the south. This is Iraq. Syria is up to the north. Egypt is to the west. And you can see the bodies of water here. This is the Red Sea, the Mediterranean, and over to the east is the Persian Gulf. Genesis 17:8 reads, "And I will give unto thee, and to thy seed after thee, the land thou art a stranger, all the land of Canaan for an everlasting possession, and I will be their God." Genesis 15:8 reads, "The land from the river of Egypt to the great river Euphrates." If we apply these boundaries today, this is what we would find. Parts of the Promised Land would be here in Egypt. Here is the river Nile and the delta leading into the Mediterranean Sea. Be a part of Saudi Arabia, this part right here. Kuwait is right here on the Persian Gulf. It'd be a small portion of Kuwait. Iraq would be from the south up into the Euphrates River, which you can see is about half of Iraq. And then Syria is also split up by the Euphrates River. So this portion of Syria would be in the Promised Land. Then the countries that are totally included would be Lebanon, which is right here, all of Israel, and all of Jordan. That would consist of the Promised Land. Israel has never as yet taken the land under the unconditional Abrahamic covenant, nor has it ever possessed the whole land. The Bible has 3 promises regarding the land. Promise number 1, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob were promised possession of the land. Promise number 2, the descendants of these 3 men were promised possession of the land. Promise number 3, boundaries are listed, but the Jews have never possessed all. Therefore, these things must yet come to pass. How will Israel obtain all of this promised land? The Bible prophesies a number of wars that will be held prior to the tribulation or ongoing during the first half of the tribulation. Let's mention a few of these wars. Isaiah 17, destruction of Damascus, Syria. Jeremiah 49, Israel and Elam, which is Iran. This could involve the Iran Bushehr nuclear facility. Ezekiel 29 and 30, this involves the Tower of Syene, the Aswan Dam, and the destruction of Egypt. Psalm 83, this is a limited war between Israel and its immediate Muslim neighbors. Ezekiel 38 and 39, this is the Gog-Magog war between Israel and the entire Middle East, Muslim countries, and Russia. Let's zero in on the Psalms 83 war, for this is the war in which Israel obtains all of the land which comprises the Holy Land given to Abraham. This war includes the common border nations of Lebanon, Syria, Jordan, Egypt, and the Gaza Strip. The Israeli IDF forces are victorious in this war. This victory allows Israel to gain great territorial expansion, produces security in Israel, and prosperity is increased and national stature enhanced. Once Israel realizes all 3 of these, then the stage is set soon thereafter for the Ezekiel 38-39 Gog and Magog war. This is a war with what is called the outer circle of nations, including Russia, Iran, Ethiopia, Libya, and Turkey. The Bible tells us that God intervenes and all nations against Israel are destroyed. As stated prior, please know that only God knows the timing and the sequence of these events and wars. Thanks for joining in. We will be discussing these future wars in detail in future videos.